Добро вечер, почитувани гледачи, ја следите специјалната емисија на TV21. Во следните 30 минути имам чест да разговарам со амбасадорот на Европската Унија во Македонија, господинот Зhbogar. Господин Zhbogar, добро вечер и благодарам што прифативте поканата да бидете дел од студиото на TV21.
Добро вечер.
Би почнал со прашањето за мигрантите. Во регионот, но и во Европа, деновиве повторно се актуализира прашањето дека можно е да се појави нов бегалски бран кој што преку Балканската рута ќе продолжи на север кон Европа. Но има информации дека Македонија не би била во овој нов бран само транзит земја, туку и држава во која што ќе се задржат голем број на бегалци. Дали овие информации се вистините и дали е тоа цената која што Македонија треба да ја плати за да чекори на патот кон Европската Унија?
I haven't heard for that information, so I'm not aware of any change of our policy or the change of policy of the government. What we know is that we cooperate very well on the migration issue. We've cooperating now for a few years since the crisis started. And this was really cooperation of two partners, and we appreciate that. For that reason, we also provided some support, some financial support, and we hope to continue that good cooperation. For the time being, we don't have indications that the migration crisis would come out of control. I think it is under control. Your country also has a state of emergency on the borders, on the south and the north, with the army being present there. And I think that everything is normal. The numbers of migrants trying to cross are from before the time of the crisis. So we don't see any indications and we don't see any change there, and we don't expect any change there. We are also now talking to the government of signing a memorandum or an agreement between Frontex and the government so that we'll cooperate even better, that will be communication between our people, border police, and your police even closer, and exchange of information would be even easier. So I think that will even help in dealing with the migration crisis. But as I said, for the time being, we don't see any danger of change of the current situation.
Споменавте финансиска поддршка од Европската Унија кон Македонија во справување со мигрантската криза. Минатата власт, предводена од Никола Груевски, кога беше прогласена вонредна состојба откако дојде поголем број мигранти, се жалеше дека троши државни пари без при тоа Европската Унија да понуди било каква помош за да и се помогне на Македонија да се справи со бројот на мигранти. Колку пари има добиено Македонија од Европската Унија во справување со мигрантската криза?
We provided funds for different activities, let's say. Of course, we provided immediate help to the hospitals in Gevgelija and in Kumanovo. So that they could buy new equipment, they could buy new ambulances. We provided help to Gevgelija, also to the public company dealing with waste collection, the same in the north in Kumanovo. In parallel, we provided help for humanitarian assistance to the migrants through international organizations who are providing financial assistance. We are providing special assistance to police by purchasing 33 cars for border police, for 33 cars that are monitoring the border. These cars are equipped with radars, with night radars, long vision cameras, everything that the authorities said they needed. We are now discussing additional needs of the country, and we got a list of requirements. We are going through that list of requirements, and everything that we agree, we will continue to support. You know, it's different how we calculate, but I think from 14 millions on, funds we provided through different institutions.
Доколку Македонија го исполни она што е наведено во договорот од Пржино, сите точки. Доколку ги анулира оние недостатоци кои што ги посочува извештајот на Прибе, дали името на државата останува главна пречка за влез на Македонија во Европската Унија?
At the moment, we are in a situation when the name issue it's not the only problem. It's not the main problem at the moment. Of course, it remains, the good neighborly relations remains an important element when decision will be taken about opening negotiations. But at the moment, what the issues are those related to the so-called captured state. Last year we said that your institutions who are supposed to be independent were and are captured by politics, and that there was a backsliding in judiciary. And with such countries, of course, the Commission was not able to provide a clean recommendation to open negotiations, and that's why it put a reserve on opening negotiations. We are now in a situation we have to return to point zero, to say, when we have to fix all these issues in judiciary, in media, and other institutions, so that we can start from the beginning. Good neighborly relations is, of course, a very important element in deciding, and I think the government took a good step now toward one of the neighbors, and we see that also toward Greece there was a positive steps of the government trying to continue work on the confidence building measures, trying to increase the confidence building measures and increase the trust. I think there's a lack of trust to start with in your relations with Greece, and it's good that the government started working on that.
Дали можно сценарио во кое што Македонија ќе ги почне преговорите за членство во Европската Унија, а подоцна во тој процес да се бара решение за името, односно за проблемот кој што Македонија го има со Грција?
I think it's too early to talk about this now. I think at the moment we have to go one step at a time. I think we have to remove all the additional obstacles that are on the way, and these are the ones related to the captured state. And only when we come to the point zero, then we can discuss about what are the options to move forward. But in parallel, I hope that the government will continue working and solving issues with the neighbors.
Пред неколку дена имавте средба со премиерот Зоран Заев, на која што се разговарало за реформите во правосудството и во други области кои што Прибе ги посочува како проблематични. Постои ли желба и волја кај новата влада да се спроведат реформите и институциите да се вратат да работат во интерес на граѓаните?
First, I have to say that we feel certain optimism in the country, like a new energy, a fresh start, like a second chance of the country. I think this is the feeling we have also in Brussels. Also in Brussels, there is an optimism that when we see that maybe this is now the chance to move the country forward, which is a very good start. I think this is precondition for any solutions. And I can say that I trust the sincerity of Prime Minister and his commitment to reforms and to make his government the reform government. Of course, people would want to see results. They would want to see change. They will want to see the change, the way the government functions, the change how the government appoints in different institutions, how the state prosecutor will be appointed, how the constitutional judges will be appointed, how the boards will be filled in, how the ambassadors will be appointed. I think people would want to see how the public money is going to be spent. They want to see if judiciary and media will be led to do the job independently. I think these will be the messages where we will see that the reforms are really happening. The government has 369 plan, which is a good plan, but we'll need to see that it shows results. And we have optimism now, but optimism needs to be fed continuously. It goes for a certain time. Now we are all euphoric that there is a new energy, but the government will need, or institutions, the parliament as well, they will need to feed this optimism that people will continue to see the things changing. And for that, we will all need to see this change of behavior, how the government is governing and how is approaching the problems, and that this is differently what has been done in the past.
Какви се проценките? Дали ако новата влада продолжи со исто темпо кон остварување на овие реформи, односно ветување дека ќе оствари голем број реформи во овие најбитни сегменти, колку време ќе им биде потребно да ги исправат тие недостатоци кои што се случуваа во минатите години? Предпоставам дека 4 години нема да бидат доволни, колку што...
I think this is a never-ending process. These reforms are the never-ending process, but it's they start at one point. They start with the first step, and of course they continue, especially in judiciary. You know, the reforms will take a long time, but it's not on and off. It's not that one day there is no reform and the other day everything is fixed. It's a process, and we want to see the start of that process. Yes, 369 is the start of the process, but it needs to start showing also results in, as I said before, in different behavior. We need to see that the government will not compromise its commitment to reforms with certain decisions, with political deals, or other things. You know, that it will remain committed to reforms and really changing the situation. I think it's not for us. I mean, it's not for the European Union. I think it's primarily for people who really put now a lot of trust in this government. So it's for people to show that things will be different and to return the hope that there will be progress, including progress with us, including the progress on the road toward the European Union. As I said before, there is optimism in Brussels, there is optimism in member states. And we want to see the country moving forward. We want to see we want to bring good news. We want to see that we start negotiations. But for that, we need to work together. And then I think results will come as well.
На 27 април во Собранието за нов председател на Законодавниот дом беше избран господинот Талат Џафери. После изборот знаеме што се случи, упадот и физичкото насилство врз дел од пратениците. Прашањето ми е многу бргу по изборот на Талат Џафери, Соединетите Американски држави, но и Европската унија испратија порака за неговиот избор. Дали Европската унија и вие знаевте дека во Собранието токму на тој ден ќе се бира нов председател на Законодавниот дом?
Well, we didn't know at the time that they are going to elect the speaker on that day, but I think the majority was announcing quite for a certain period of time that the speaker is going to be elected. Then after the election of the speaker, the events or the violence happened in the parliament, and of course we were very worried. That night we were really very worried. I think that night the things could have gone very wrong. In the evening already, Mogherini and Hahn issued a very strong statement condemning the violence and calling for prosecution of everybody involved. And we are still calling on that. We expect that everybody who is involved in the violence will be prosecuted by institutions. But afterwards, of course, we supported the speaker. He went to visit Brussels, and he met Mogherini and Hahn during that visit in the first week of his term. Now we see that he's trying to return debate into the assembly. I think, as it seems, he is committed to make the assembly really the venue where the political debates or confrontations, if you want, should happen. He's also committed to transparency of the work of the assembly. We are ready to provide assistance to him or to the whole assembly. So I think the things are now normalized in the assembly, and that's how it should be.
Председателот на Република Македонија Ѓорги Иванов неколку пати одбиваше да го додели мандатот за формирање на влада на председателот на СДСМ Зоран Заев. Еднашка побара подписи, најмалку 61, како гаранција да го додели мандатот, а втората гаранција која бараше е заштита на унитарноста на државата. На крајот Иванов му го додели мандатот на Зоран Заев, но дали на било каков начин Европската Унија вршеше притисок врз председателот Ѓорги Иванов да го додели мандатот?
All we can do is just express our opinion. And when High Representative Mogherini visited Skopje during those days, she called, she met the president, she discussed with the president, and she encouraged him to give the mandate to the one who has a majority and who demonstrated that he has a majority in the parliament. And that's as much as we put the pressure. We, as the European Union, we don't threaten, we simply express our opinion. And I believe that given that the country and citizens want to become a member of the European Union, that they then consider that opinion. And in the end, we saw that the president did give the mandate to Prime Minister, and as I understand, they cooperate very well, the government and the president. There is a cohabitation, if you want, but it works very well. The government also, in the 369 plan, committed to good cooperation with the president, especially on the appointment of the constitutional judges, on the appointment of the ambassadors, where the president has important role. And so this is positive, that everybody goes beyond the problems from the past and looks to the future, working together for the better of the country.
Ова прашање ви го поставив затоа што неколку пати имаше јавни настапи од председателот Ѓорги Иванов, но и од врвот на ВМРО ДПМН, кои што велеа дека има амбасадори на странски држави кои што се мешаат во внатрешната политика на Македонија. Имате ли вие такви информации? Дали навистина се случуваше тоа?
We heard some people who are saying that diplomats are maybe too vocal. We were vocal because we were concerned. We care about the country, or I should speak for myself. I really care for the country and people, and I would like to see the country moving forward. And I can tell you the High Representative feels the same. She really wants to move the country forward during her mandate. The same goes for Commissioner Hahn, who devoted quite a lot of energy and time in this country. So maybe we speak more sometimes, and maybe we are more critical, but simply from simple reason, because we want to encourage politicians or the country to go in the right direction. And the same will be with the new government. It's not that it's only criticism or that we are vocal about one government. The same will be with the new government. The Prime Minister encouraged me to be vocal, to be critical, so that they don't slide off the road. And I think we will be.
Денеска премиерот Зоран Заев имаше пресконференција на која што изјави дека на 1 август ќе биде потпишан договорот за добро соседство со Република Бугарија. Заев истакна дека договорот нема да им наштети на националните интереси на Македонија, но повеќе детали од договорот не се познати на домашната јавност. Дали вие како амбасадор на Европската Унија во Република Македонија имате информации, конкретно детали што содржи договорот кој што на 1 август ќе го потпишат Република Македонија и Република Бугарија?
First, I should welcome this agreement because I think it's agreement that changes the relationship not only between the two countries, but also has effect in the region. I think it's an example how two countries can solve the problem that was there for many, many years, and how they can open the road of cooperation for the future. I think really it's an example how with the determination, with the courage and the leadership of the two prime ministers, you can move forward. And you leave the history to historians. You try to balance the issues in the agreement, and you decide to work for the future. They're establishing, as I understand, I haven't read the agreement, but it seems that they are making it public now. They're establishing this commission to work on several issues from the past and the present. I think this is a very European way of solving problems. This was done between France and Germany and Poland, even Slovenia, where I'm coming from. We have such commissions. We had subcommission with Austria and Italy. So I think it's really a good way how you put, how you unchain the present from past problems, and you don't neglect the different views, but you put them aside and you give to the Commission to discuss while you work together on a common future, which is European future. I think it's really a very important agreement, and we welcome it. We will welcome it when it's going to be signed, and it's also important boost for the region. You know, to show the region that the two countries on their own, even without the help from others, can solve the problem. It shows the maturity of the region.
Но во овој момент не е само Бугарија. Еве, владата на Заев ја посети Грција, но деновиве има посета и на Албанија. Како ги оценувате односите со другите соседни држави, не само со Бугарија? И дали сметате дека односите со северниот сосед на Република Македонија, Србија, во овој момент се малку заладени?
I see the commitment of the government to work with all neighbors and to improve relations with all neighbors, which I think is good commitment. There were visits done, I think, almost all neighbors by the Prime Minister or the Foreign Minister, and really commitment to work on the ring of friends, if you want, to make friends around you. Of course, there are issues. Every country has issues with neighbors. Important is to talk about them, to talk about them hopefully behind the closed doors, and try to find the solutions and then present them to public rather than to have an open discussion. And I think that's what we see is now happening. As I understand, the visit to Albania of the Foreign Minister was a very good, positive one. They're talking about the joint sessions of the government, of two governments. I think this is good, should continue. With Serbia, we've heard certain, yes, we've noticed certain statements here and there. It's just an indication that maybe more visits are needed, more discussions are needed, more cooperation on different levels. The more you entangle yourself with interests, the less then such political statements come to the front. The more cooperation you have on economy, on transport, on trade, on investment, on environment cooperation, on everything else, the more you depend on each other, the less other issues are important. With Greece, we talked already, and I think the government should really fast forward relations with Greece and try to build on good neighborly relations. And then relations with Kosovo, which of course now they're forming the government, so after they form the government, I'm sure that there will be visits and cooperation there as well. But coming back, I think what should be the aim, and we see it is the aim of the government, is to build the ring of friends around yourself. You need friends, everybody needs friends, but especially in your situation, trying to get into NATO, trying to get into the European Union, the more friends you have who will, from the region, who will support you and push you, I think the faster you will go.
Неколку пати го споменавте планот 369 на владата. Како го оценувате и дали сметате дека тој би требало да биде појдовна точка на тоа како понатаму ќе се развиваат реформите и патот по кој што ќе се движи Македонија во правец кон полноправно членство во Европската унија?
Well, this plan 369 is for the next 9 months only, or actually we have only 3 months plan at the moment in front of us. I think it's a good plan. It shows a commitment to change things, to do things differently, to do the reforms. But as I said earlier, it's a plan. It's a plan on a paper, which should give results. People will care when they see things really changing. This is also a plan that should be a live document. We saw that civil society came forward with updated blueprint for reforms, where there are also some very ambitious ideas there that could be taken up by the government as well. And I was told that the government is reflecting what of those ideas from civil society can incorporate in their own plans. So this is a live document, should not be fixed just with what we have now on the paper. But as I said, we need to see results. Results that people, because this is all done for citizens. It's not that this is done for us. People should see the change. People should see that something is different. And they should see that, if we want to change in judiciary, why? So that everybody will feel that everybody is equal in front of judiciary, that the law applies to everybody. That will have effect that there will be more order in the country and more respect for the rule of law in the country. If we want independent media, it's because we want people to form opinion themselves, rather to be fed just with one-sided information. If we want independent institutions, is it because we want that business people or civil society or even citizens will not be afraid that one day Revenue Office or Anti-Corruption Commission will come after them for the wrong reasons, not for the reasons they were established. So, the rule of law, when we are talking about rule of law and democracy and the changes there, we want that the feeling that people will not be afraid of making their opinion heard, that they will not have the feeling that government knows everything about them, that government is listening to them, or that the government even knows how they vote. The change should be that people get rid of that feeling, of that fear, which I understand is quite present among citizens. So when these reforms or the plan is just a stepstone that will bring us to that situation, so that citizens will realize that indeed there is a new reality in the country, a better reality. So, and as a consequence, of course, this will help with the European process for the country as well, because it demonstrates to us that a country is approaching our standards and values.
Господин Zhbogar, нашите 30 минути сега истекуваат. Јас ви благодарам за гостувањето во студиото на Телевизија 21 и се надевам дека и во следниот период ќе имаме можност повторно да разговараме на актуелни теми кои што се случуваат во Македонија, но и во регионот.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and of course, very happy to look for the next opportunity.
Thank you. Почитувани гледачи, вам ви благодарам за вниманието. Тоа беше гостувањето на амбасадорот на Европската Унија во Република Македонија, господинот Зhbogar, со кого разговаравме на актуелните теми во Република Македонија и регионот. Пријатно.